What's up, Earthlings? So today we're discussing the next-gen consoles from Microsoft, the Xbox Series X and the rumored Xbox Series S. The Xbox Series X is being marketed as the most powerful console in the world, snatching the crown from the current most powerful console in the world, the Xbox One X. We'll look at specs, release dates, and game releases. The Xbox Series X was unveiled at the Game Awards December 2019 and is looking at a November 2020 release schedule. So Microsoft had plenty of time to work on the hardware. The delay in release is less of a hardware perfection though, and more making sure the game releases are ready. We know games take quite some time to develop, and with Microsoft planning to release more than 50 cross-generational platform games, we can see where they're taking their time. Speaking of titles, Microsoft and 343 Industries just recently announced that Halo Infinite won't be released when the Xbox Series X comes out, and are instead looking at a 2021 launch, which I have to say I'm not mad at all. Like, you'd rather go develop the game to its perfection than release something that's not ready for consumers just because you have to beat a deadline. And with titles like Forza Motorsport, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Watch Dogs Legion, all coming later this year, who'll really have time to play Halo? So take your time, Microsoft. The Xbox Series X is fully beefed out though. The system CPU is an 8-core custom Zen 2 processor running at 3.8 GHz. Its GPU is a custom RDNA 2 processor at 1.82 GHz with 52 CUs that will create 12 teraflops. This puts Microsoft's new console among some of the higher-end gaming PCs. Other hardware includes 16 GB of GDDR6 RAM, a 1 TB SSD, HDMI 2.1 connection carried over from the Xbox One X, and an optical drive for game discs for people that still use those. The SSD will incorporate a new feature called Xbox Velocity Architecture, which will let developers make use of up to 100 GB of game assets instantaneously. All these maxed out specs will allow the Xbox to drive higher frame rates, 4K resolution at 120 frames per second, with variable rate refresh support when connected to TVs or monitors that support HDMI 2.1. And it's not only the specs getting an upgrade. There's a new controller coming too. With a newly designed D-pad and share feature integrated into the controller, Microsoft is making this controller backwards compatible with their previous gen consoles and making previous gen console controllers compatible with the Series X, which is more than our Japanese friends over at Sony are doing. What about the Series S? Well, not much is confirmed at this point, but we can surely say it's coming. Some of its specs include 7.5 GB of usable RAM, around 4 teraflops of GPU performance, and it'll ship with the same CPU found on the Xbox Series X. Think of it as a light version to the Series X. And if you already have a One X, I wouldn't recommend getting a Series S anyway, because the One X is far more powerful than the Series S. But if you're not willing to spend that much on a gaming device, and are a casual gamer, and don't have an Xbox, I would say the Series S is targeted to you. The Series S is definitely going to be cheaper than the Series X, so it's an entry line into the Xbox gaming experience. I have to say I'm more excited for the Series X to launch. We're looking at a November 2020 tentatively, if things do not change. But with the current pandemic going on, even Microsoft has been affected and a lot of things have been pushed forward, only hoping they won't have to reschedule the release of the Series X. But there's an Xbox event coming up this month where Microsoft is expected to give more information on the Series X and officially announce the Series S. But what Microsoft wants you to be more excited about in the coming months is not really the new gen console release, but its service, Gamepass. And I love seeing that companies are focusing more on services offered to people than selling a product, because the service keeps people around longer. Gamepass, if you compare it to PlayStation Now, which I will make the two comparisons in an upcoming video, we can already tell that Microsoft is bringing everything they have to Game Pass. They're giving consumers value for money because they're pushing every game they can on Game Pass, and unlike PlayStation Now, which gives you very dated games, Game Pass is the best of both worlds. You get nostalgic games if you want to go back and replay games that were released more than 7 years ago, and you get new releases as well. And that's what the marketing department at Microsoft has been doing, pushing Game Pass and pushing the new releases that are coming later this year as a first day launch available on Game Pass. And with Game Pass that you can get for around $10 a month, you never have to buy another game ever again, with more than 100 games on the service. For more Xbox videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing constant updates as we come up to the release of the Series X. What are some of the games you're looking forward to playing? And if you have Game Pass, what games are you playing currently? Leave your recommendations in the comments below because I'd like to check them out. Also, add me as a friend on Xbox. My game tag is in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next video.